Hello YouTube. This is going to be round 3 of the MSI tournament. And here I had the black pieces against William Wijaya. And believe it or not, in the very last Mind Sports event, I actually played against this opponent and with the black pieces, and he also had the white pieces. It was almost the same opening actually too. Last time he beat me, but this time I got revenge, as he said after the game. So it started out e4. I play c5, which is my sort of, well, Najdorf is like my main weapon against e4. Knight to f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and the knight to f6, knight c3, a6, so all of the standard theory so far. And in the last game, he had played bishop c4 against me, which is the Fischer-Zosen attack. And when he went to go pick up his bishop on f1, I was fully expecting him to place it on c4, but to my surprise, he plays bishop to e2. And I was delighted to see this. I think I have some trouble against the Zosen, but yeah, when white plays passively against my Najdorf, then I tend to get good positions. e5, attacking the knight, and also getting the e6 square for my bishop on c8. Knight goes f3. Now, I wanted to play bishop to e6 at this point, but I was a little concerned with knight to g5, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do exactly. And then I thought, well, there's no hurry to play it, so I just played bishop e7. And the computer says that this is the last book move, actually. h3. Fritz says that this covers g4. Honestly, this doesn't really do a whole lot, I think. Let's see here. Well, in my opinion, castles is much better, and then we just castle. He could probably just do without h3, and he can improve from what happened in the game. h3 though. I castle. Bishop comes to e3. And I play queen c7. So now when I play bishop to e6, if the knight ever comes to g5, I'm going to just place my bishop on that c4 square. And the computer's showing that instead of queen c7, I could try b5 first. And white should try a4. b4, knight d5. I'm not so sure about this. I think what I played was just fine. Queen c7. No hurry to expand on the queen side, just get pieces developed. And queen d2. And it says that I have a cramped position, but I don't really see how that's the case. I think maybe white has a little bit more space, but the space advantage isn't so important if you have good squares to put your pieces on. So I played bishop to e6. And he castles. I play knight to b to d7, and here he plays knight g5. And like I said, I want to play bishop c4. What this does is, well, I keep my pawn structure intact over there, even though maybe the f-file might be useful for me. I'm not quite sure, but here, if he exchanges on c4, he gets my queen active too, so it's probably just fine. f4, attacking on the queen side, and computer is saying this is an interesting line. Bishop takes c4 anyway. I capture queen to d3, and it's saying that I should capture on d3. I don't see why I wouldn't just play rook c8 here, but let's see here. This is probably equal. f4, attack on the king side. rook a to c8. So just getting my rook to an active position. Rook a c1. This is sort of just reacting to my move. He tended to do this in a couple instances of the game. It's a little unnecessary because I'm not really threatening that c2 pawn at the moment. And let me see. Alternatively, rook a b1. Interestingly enough, bishop takes e2. I wonder what the idea is. Queen takes e2, and queen to c6. Okay, and h6 being the threat. Well, I think rook a c1 is, well, okay. Is I don't know. It's a bit dubious. b5. Expanding on the queen side, I'm getting space here, and he reacts to this by playing a3. So I guess he doesn't want me to kick that knight around. Alternatively, instead of b5, h6 is a maybe slight improvement, with the threat of taking on f4, I guess. Bishop takes c4, queen takes e4, knight to f3, knight takes e4, maybe exclamation point here. Knight takes e4, queen takes e4, f takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes d7, queen takes e3, king h1. Okay, that's that would be kind of hard to calculate, I guess, over the board from this position. Well, b5 seems principled anyway. a3. Alternatively here, capturing, queen takes e4, knight to d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, e takes f4, bishop takes f4, knight to f6, queen takes c4, rook takes c4. Okay, so this is why I love the Sicilian so much. There's so many different possibilities. b5, a3, and knight to b6 is what I played. So if he captures my bishop on c4, I can get my knight to a very nice square. We'll be doing a lot. b3. Here's the point in the game where it's just this is just a bad move. It weakens his knight on c3, and as you're about to see, it's going to cost him his pawn on e4. First, taking the bishop, and queen cannot take because knight is hanging, so knight takes, and as you see, that deflects one of the defenders from the e4 pawn. Now to deflect the other one with h6, and here he should at least be losing a pawn, but first he inserts this move, f takes e4, e5, I'm sorry, d takes e5, queen to a5, and this is a blunder. He missed the move bishop to c5 in this position, which is what I played. Saw it instantly. Instead of queen a5, let's see, rook takes f6. That's interesting. I didn't even consider this. Bishop takes, knight to f3. Okay, so he goes down the exchange, but I guess he gets something for this. I'm not sure. Maybe he has better control of the position here. So queen a5, bishop to c5. Not a better move here. Bishop takes, queen takes check, king to h1, and h takes g5. So here I'm up a piece, threatening that pawn on e4. And here he plays b4. Maybe just a little frustrated and wanted to get counterplay. Queen to e3, attacking the knight and getting centralized. Queen takes a6, grabbing a pawn. Knight takes e4. I grab my own pawn. And queen takes b5. With the threat of rook to f3. So I have to be careful of this. The move I played in the game is knight to c4, which is a fine move. Interrupts the connection between the knight and queen. So rook to f3, I'm just going to capture that knight on e2, and my knight is very nicely placed on c4. No squares to kick it away, and it's closer to the center. Rook to c to e1, and I played queen takes a3 after a very long think, and it's surprising. I thought there might be a mate here, but I was looking for the longest time and I couldn't figure it out, so I just decided queen takes a3 would be just a fine move. Let's see what the computer has instead. Knight c to d2. Okay, this is probably much better than what happened. And black takes home at that point. Okay. Queen d3. Knight takes f1. Rook takes f1. Queen takes e2. Queen takes e2 and knight g3 check. Oh, that's nice. I wish I had spent longer here. That's a very nice combination. King h2 and knight takes e2. Well, that would have been another nice finish, but in the game, what happened was just queen takes a3 in this position. Queen to b7. So there's some tactical tricks. The threat is rook takes f7, and if I recapture with the rook, he's going to take my rook on c8 with check. So I play in this position knight g3 check, which is a fine move. Knight takes g3, queen takes g3, and rook to e4, and this is the final straw. Threat again is to play rook takes f7, and after a very long think, I was considering two options here, knight to e3 or knight to d6, both of which seemed good, but after thinking for a while, knight d6, I'm not losing a pawn in that variation. So after I played it, he resigned. And yeah, I just have so many ways to get active. That rook now is going to come crashing through on the c-file. And Fritz gives best play from this position would probably be queen to d5, knight takes e4, queen takes e4, and queen to c3, with black dominating. So that was my game against William Wijaya. After round 3, that was the end of the first day, and I was very tired, but had great results, and most of my games finished up pretty early, especially this one, so I had the chance to get some rest for round 4 tomorrow, and that will be the game with Grandmaster Timur Gariv, so definitely stay tuned for that.